scrambled eggs. I like scrambled eggs with monkey pie. I'll have scrambled eggs with monkey pie. Oh, I believe that monkey died. Yes, I believe that monkey died. I Believe That Monkey Died by the Beatles, as performed by Paul McCartney. It's about Ross's pet monkey from Friends. You're supposed to tune down one full step for this song. I'm gonna play it in standard tuning so that none of us have to actually tune down, but I will tell you this. If you play it in standard tuning, it doesn't quite have the same rattly, jangly sound as the original recording. So if you are frustrated with the way it sounds when you play, try tuning down one full step. Here is my tip for you for tuning down a full step. Grab a capo. Put the capo on the second fret of the guitar, then take your tuner and tune to standard tuning with the capo on, and then get rid of the capo and you will be tuned down a full step, and then Yesterday by the Beatles will sound exactly like the studio recording. Time to learn the introduction. The introduction is very short, very sweet, and it teaches us the strumming pattern that we're going to use for the entire song. Please place your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the top string. Pointer finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string from the top. Ring finger and pinky on the 3rd fret of the bottom 2 strings. This is a classic G chord. G as in Geppetto from Pinocchio fame. Guys, what's gonna happen is you're gonna play the top string with your thumb, and then using your pointer finger or your middle finger, I use my pointer finger, you're gonna flick up on the bottom like 3 strings. You might hit 2, you might hit 4, you might hit 5, you might hit 1. Regardless, you wanna flick up on the bottom few strings. You're gonna go thumb once and then finger flick 3 times. Thumb, flick, flick, flick. 1, 2, play with me. Thumb, flick, flick again. Thumb, flick, flick again. Oh, shoot, you messed me up. You distracted me by yelling again at me when I was trying to play guitar. Guitar starts with a G too, so the G chord could be a G as in guitar. That probably would have been more applicable than a G as in Geppetto. The truth, okay, can we be perfectly honest? I was really just trying to make sure I didn't say G as in gynecologist, because I feel like that would have been inappropriate. Oh shoot, I messed everything up. You're gonna do that thumb flick 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 thing on the G 4 times, and that's the intro. Let's play the whole intro right now. 1, 2, here we go. Thumb flick flick flick, thumb flick flick flick, thumb flick flick flick, thumb flick flick flick. Have you guys seen A Bug's Life? Not to be confused with ants with a Z. Shut up, Stuart. Stop talking about old animated movies. They don't even have a Bugs Land at Disneyland California Adventure anymore. Anyway, the main character's name was Flick. So if you really want to learn this song correctly, I recommend you go watch A Bug's Life. Is it Pixar? I think it's Pixar. Early Pixar flick. Because a movie is also a flick. I wonder if that's why they named the character Flick. Okay. So did you want to learn Yesterday by the Beatles? What? Come on, John. Okay, now we've made it to the A section of the song. It's just kind of the main part of the song where the singing starts. You're gonna stay on the G, and you're gonna go thumb, flick, flick, flick. Then you're gonna go like this. Thumb, flick, flick. Play the top string open. So far we have thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, flick, open. Then we go to the one and only bar chord in this song, but I will also show you an alternate non-bar chord way to play it. The way that Sir Ian Paul McCartney plays it himself is he puts his pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the top string, then he mashes his pointer finger down so it's on all 6 strings, and then he puts his ring finger on the 4th fret of the 2nd string from the top. This is an F sharp minor 7 chord, and you go thumb, flick, flick, flick. This is how I recommend you do it. I think it's a good idea. But if you're like, I don't want to, no problem. Just put your pointer finger on 2 of the top string, then take these 3 fingers and put them on the 2nd fret of the bottom 3 strings and go thumb, flick, flick, flick. It sounds the same, just this way you're gonna end up being way faster and you're gonna look way more like Paul McCartney when you play it. So you just go thumb, flick, 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 F sharp minor 7. Then we go to a B7. Middle finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string from the top. Pointer finger, 1st fret, 3rd string from the top. Ring finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the bottom, and pinky, 2nd fret, bottom string. We're gonna play thumb, flick, 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 but your thumb is gonna play the 2nd string from the top, not the top string. Thumb, flick, flick, flick. So far for the A section, once the singing starts, we go G, flick, 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 thumb, flick, flick, open, bar, flick, 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 B7, flick, flick, flick. Don't worry, we'll get some more practice in, but for now, let's keep going. We're gonna go to an E minor. Top string is open. Put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string from the top. Put your ring finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string from the top. Play the top string, thumb, flick, flick, flick. Then, this is a little bit different here. Thumb plays 3rd string from the top and just go thumb, flick, while still holding the E minor chord. Then let go of the E minor chord, play the 3rd string from the top with your thumb, and then flick on the open strings. So we just went E minor, flick, 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 thumb, flick, open, flick. So add 2 more chords, and then we'll review the entire A section. Guys, I was talking about gynecologists earlier, cesarean section. That's a thing that, I don't know, does a gynecologist do that? Guys, I don't know what a gynecologist is. Please don't tell me in the comments what a gynecologist is. God, sounded like I almost said something really weird. Never mind. You guys having fun learning Yesterday by the Beatles today? After that little E minor open thing, we switched to a C chord. Put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string from the top. Middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the top. Pointer finger, 1st fret, 2nd string from the bottom. Now, you might be sick of me saying this from previous tutorials, but I need to tell you that when you play the C chord, don't try to have your fingers straight up and down like that. Have them at this angle where they're all touching. See that sharp? They're at like a 45-degree angle from the strings. You're gonna play the 2nd string from the top with your thumb, and then flick, flick, flick. Then we go to a D7. Keep your pointer finger in the same spot, but lift up your other 2 fingers. Put your ring finger on 2 of the bottom string and put your middle finger on 2 of the 3rd string from the bottom. So now from the bottom up, we have 2nd fret with the ring finger, 1st fret with the pointer finger, and then 2nd fret with the middle finger. You're gonna play 3rd string from the top with your thumb, and then flick, flick, flick. Guys, we are 4 measures, 4 bars deep in the A section of the song. Let's play the A section so far, starting from the G. 1, 2, here we go. And thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, flick, open, F sharp, flick, 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 B7, flick, 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 E minor, flick, 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 boom, pow, open, C chord, boom, flick, 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 D7, flick, flick, flick. I'm really impressed with how many flicks you've done so far today. After the C to D7, we're gonna go back to G, the chord that started it all. And we're gonna go thumb, flick, flick, flick. Then we just go thumb, flick once. Then lift up your pointer finger and your middle finger. Keep your ring finger and pinky down on the bottom 2 strings. And then put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the top string and go thumb, flick 1 time. So we just went thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, thumb, flick. At this point in time, we're switching to an E minor 7 chord. Lift up every finger except for your ring finger. So your ring finger stays on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string from the top. Put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string from the top and your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string from the top. Go thumb, flick, flick, thumb. Then you're gonna switch to an A7 chord. Are you ready? Lift up your pointer finger, and slide your ring finger into the second fret. So now the top string is open, second from the top is open, and then second fret, open, second fret, open. A7 chord, play the second string from the top and go thumb, flick, flick, thumb. So what we just did with the E minor 7, we went thumb, flick, flick, thumb, A7, flick, flick, thumb. So close to being done with the A section. We're going back to the C chord. Do you remember the C chord? It's this one. I'm not going to tell you where each finger goes because I already told you, and you should have listened to me the first time. If you don't, you can check your notes, or you can call one of your friends if you need more. Uncle Stuart, I was sick when you taught me the C chord. Oh, well, you should have gotten the homework from your homework buddy. What's a homework buddy? Did you check the online portal? What's it called? Like Aurora or something? I don't know. Guys, they didn't have online grade checking when I was in school, and thank goodness, because then my parents would have known that I never did my homework. They knew. They were just in denial about it. Or maybe they weren't even in denial. Maybe they were just like, he's got enough problems. Let's not give him too much of a hard time about his homework. Okay, so you go to the C chord. Fine, I'll tell you. It's ring finger, 3rd fret, 2nd string from the top. Middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the top. Pointer finger, 1st fret, 2nd string from the bottom. Just with your thumb, just strum this chord once, and then switch to the G and go strum, strum. So that ending part was just C, strum, G. Boom, bow. Guys, we finished the A section, which means we finished most of the song. Let's go ahead and play the A section all the way through. 1, 2, A section, nice and slow. Thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, flick, open, F sharp, minor, flick, flick, B7, flick, flick, E. Well, I burped a little, did you hear that? Then boom, pow, open, pow, C, boom, 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 D7, then G, boom, 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 thumb, flick, 2nd fret, B minor 7, and A7, great job, C, G, G, underpants. Okay, are we ready to learn the B section of the song? You can call it the bridge if you want. I think the Beatles call it the middle 8. It's like a boomer thing to say. Are they boomers? Paul McCartney, are you a boomer? The B section goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why'd she have to go? I don't know. I do not care. Why she want to die? I don't know. I do not care. Rest your legs. Okay, it's not too bad, right? You remember the B7 chord? We did it earlier. Middle finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string from the top. Pointer finger, 1st fret, 3rd string from the top. Ring finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the bottom. Pinky, 2nd fret, bottom string. Get your B7 chord ready to go, but then get rid of your pinky. It changes it into sort of a B sus, but not exactly. Thumb plays 2nd string from the top. Thumb, flick, flick, flick. Then add your pinky to make it into a complete B7 chord. Thumb, flick, flick, flick. Then you're just gonna strum an E minor, and then you're gonna strum a plain old regular D. Have we done the regular D yet? It's middle finger, 2nd fret, bottom string. Ring finger, 3rd fret, 2nd string from the bottom. Pointer finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the bottom. Do not play the top string. Joke, don't spit. Then we go to the C chord. We did the C earlier. Strum that once. And then go back to E minor and strum that once. So that was just E minor, D, C, E minor. One strum of each chord. E minor, D, C, E minor. Then we're gonna go to a D7 over A. We did the D7 earlier. It was ring finger, 2nd fret, bottom string. Pointer finger, 1st fret, 2nd string from the bottom. Middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the bottom. Play the 2nd string from the top open with your thumb, and then flick, flick, flick. Then Keep these fingers exactly the same, but play the third string from the top and go thumb, flick, flick, flick. So that was our D7 over A, and then a regular D7. And then, then you go to a G and you go thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, flick, flick. Guys, let's play all of that. So that was the B7 without the pinky, then you add the pinky. Then it goes E minor, D, C, E minor, and then we went D7 over A, D7 to G. Let's play it all the way through. 1, 2, extremely slowly. Thumb, flick, 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 thumb, pinky, flick, flick, E minor, D, C, E minor, D7 over A, flick, flick, D7, flick, 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 G, flick, 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 G, flick, flick, flick. Is flick starting to sound like a bad news word to you guys? I'm not offended by swear words. I just get intimidated by them. So that was the first half of the B section. The second half of the B section is we do the exact same thing, except when we get to the G chord at the end, instead of going thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, 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 you just strum it once. And that's it. That's the B section. Guys, I hate to break it to you, but we're actually like done with the song. So you play the A section, you play the intro, which was just thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, 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 thumb, flick, flick, flick. Then you play the A section dos times. That's Spanish for two. I'm surprised you didn't know that. Then you play the B section once, then you play the A section again. And then I think you repeat the whole entire thing again. Then after you play the whole thing again, you go to a G chord, you go thumb, flick, flick, flick. Then we go to an A7 chord. We did it before, but I'll remind you, it was ring finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string from the bottom, middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the top. Your thumb plays a 2nd string from the top, thumb, flick, 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 and then you go C, G, G. And that's the end of the song. So the very end is, I believe that monkey died. And then I don't think there's any reason to make it any more complicated than that. I've been trying to remember the name of the monkey from Friends this whole time. It's like Charleston or Chestnut or Chevy Chase. Chester. Does it start with CH? Okay, we'll never know. Shoot. Touch my boots and G. Pluck, pluck, flick. Boom, bang, bang, boom, boom. Shoot, darn idiot, you messed up. I hate the way you smell your plants in the summertime.